The Ann Arbor Center for Independent Living is more than you might think. Every day they are positively impacting the lives of individuals with disabilities living in our community.
The Ann Arbor Center for Independent Living works with and on behalf of individuals who have disabilities. So we work with children, youth, adults, and seniors who may have physical or mental health impairments or any health condition that's impeding the activities of their daily living. And we work towards their successes at home, at school, at work, and in the community. The Ann Arbor Center for Independent Living was created in 1976, so we're nearly 40 years old. We'll be celebrating our 40th anniversary very soon. And our history goes back to the fact that people with disabilities were often institutionalized. So way back in 1976, 4 individuals decided that they were going to look at what was happening out in Berkeley, California, and they wanted to make that happen here in Ann Arbor. And they began the Center for Independent Living. The Ann Arbor Center for Independent Living is a local organization. We were the first in Michigan and the 4th in the country. We followed Berkeley, California's Center for Independent Living that Ed Roberts had created. And then in the state of Michigan, there are now 15 centers for independent living. We're part of the Disability Network Michigan. And then we are also part of a consortium of 600 plus centers for independent living throughout the country and throughout the world. And we participate with NPO, which is the National Coalition of Independent Living Centers. So we work with and on behalf of consumers, so people with disabilities themselves, and we work with people with disabilities in Washtenaw, Livingston, and Monroe counties. We also get involved in systems change throughout the state or throughout the country when particular areas of interest come up. So we work with people with both physical and hidden disabilities as well as mental health conditions and persons who might have chronic health conditions as well. When we work with people with disabilities, it's towards their goals. Where do they want to go and what do they want to accomplish? So sometimes the population that we serve is small. Sometimes it could be younger people, sometimes it's older people. Sometimes we're working with a very large contingency towards helping to make our communities a better, safer, inclusive environment. So the Ann Arbor Center for Independent Living, like all centers for independent living, have some core service areas. So I'm going to list the 5 and then I'll give you an example of each one. So the 5 core service areas are independent living skills, information referral and assistance, peer mentoring and peer support, advocacy, and then we have community transitions. So if I go back to independent living skills would be getting comfortable with yourself and your disability and learning how to do activities of daily living. So pieces of that we would offer here at the center is that we have cooking classes where we learn about safe cooking and learn about opportunities of creating nutrition and supplementing our day. For information referral and assistance, somebody may call us and all they need is just to find out where to go for that resource. So they may have a question about how do I get benefits? And so then we would try to work with that particular individual and their circumstances to get them connected to the proper resource. Sometimes once they're connected to the resource, they also need some assistance in processing the paperwork or learning about that particular area, and so then we would work with that individual. We also do peer mentoring, so we'll do matching of individuals to get peer support so that we train individuals and then we help to match them around like disability or like goals or like avenues of where they'd like to be in the community. A 4th area is in advocacy, and there's both individual and systems advocacy. So an individual advocacy would be working more one-on-one about your particular situation, where systems advocacy would be creating community change. So an example of creating community change would be the work that we had done on the More Buses campaign to create more transportation services in our region. And then a final area that we work in is called community transition. And in community transition, it might be an individual who's been institutionalized, who's coming back out into the community, or it might be somebody who's a young person who's finishing up at a high school. So we run youth transition workshops where we will help educate on what might be some of those resources that you need in order to be successful when you're out on your own in the community. So we're very fortunate that we have a dedicated team of individuals who make up our organization. In the Ann Arbor Center for Independent Living, as well as other CILs, 51% or more of our staff and board are individuals themselves that have disabilities. We have 13 staff, and then we also have dedicated volunteers, and we have this team of individuals that come together. So we have our board, our staff, and our volunteers who help to make events take place, help to make sure that we are providing the services that we've been describing to you today. The Ann Arbor CIL receives its funding in a variety of manners. We have many generous donors, such as yourselves who may be watching this. We have funding that we receive from community foundations or from collaborative organizations that we apply for, and that's competitively given out. Then we receive state core funding that is related to our being a center for independent living, and we do reports to the state to show the kinds of services that we're providing. And then we receive Title VII Rehabilitation Act funding from the federal government, and we have to show data that shows that we are providing those services to people with disabilities and assisting them in manners in which are in accordance to those funding guidelines. The Ann Arbor CIL is always looking for creative ways to finance the programs and services that we provide. So we're always looking for ways that the community can help sponsor or establish means for those services to take place. We have opportunities for individuals to volunteer on a one-time basis or as a group for a regular activity that might be going on, such as we have Art Fridays that take place. And on Art Fridays we have a community volunteer who volunteers her time each week. We also have the opportunity for individuals to seek board membership. And so for the board membership, we're looking for people who agree with our mission, are willing to give their time and dedication to helping us have a successful environment for people with disabilities in our community. Individuals can come and visit us at the Ann Arbor CIL at 3941 Research Park Drive, Ann Arbor, Michigan 48108. You can visit us online at www.annarborcil.org. You can send us an email at info@aacil.org. You can telephone us at 734-971-0277. And we also have a social media presence for the Ann Arbor CIL at Facebook, LinkedIn, and Twitter. Visit us online or come stop by. We look forward to hearing from you soon. The Ann Arbor CIL is an opportunity to engage with you as the community and the community with you. We invite you to be part of our independent living services, information and referral, peer support, advocacy, and community transition. Come check out Toastmasters or Diverse Ability Theater or a youth program. We look forward to seeing you soon. Remember, people with disabilities are just like you, just sometimes we do some things a little bit differently.